Hi, friends. My name is Toni Cureton. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Life Skills FYI. Life Skills FYI provides a set of core adult capabilities to manage work, family, and relationships successfully. It's designed to help build the skills adults need for life. Life Skills FYI teaches skills of planning, awareness, focus, self-control, and flexibility. They are daily living skills to promote successful, independent living, skills that every adult should know, but were never taught in school. Life Skills FYI premieres on Thursdays at 10 a.m. on our My Virtual Academy Facebook page and on Instagram. Today, we are going to learn about how to do laundry. I'm going to provide you with a step-by-step guide to properly clean your clothes. So, if you're new to doing laundry, it can be hard to know where to start. There are washer settings to understand, an overwhelming number of detergent options, and stains that need to be treated, whatever that means. Learning what stain treatment means, as well as which detergents and wash cycles to use, are essential parts of understanding the basics of how to do laundry. Today in this guide, I'll cover those topics, as well as how to gather and separate laundry and the best way to dry clothing to prevent damage. If you've never done laundry before, or even if you've been doing laundry for years, we will look into a new approach and a few tricks to doing the oldest chore there is, laundry. First, we will talk about how to gather laundry. The first step to doing laundry is to establish a system. Do laundry at regular intervals. For some people, it will mean doing laundry once a week. For others, especially if you have children, it will probably be more times than that. Look at the care label and the fabric labels that are located on the insides of your clothing, at the back of your neck or at the back of your waistband in your garments. These little labels tell you everything you need to know about your garment, including the fabrics and the fibers it's made out of, along with recommending washing and drying techniques. Use the hamper to signal that wash day has arrived. A lidded model is the smart choice because it will keep you honest. When the lid won't close, that means it's time to do laundry. You can buy a divided hamper, which allows you to separate laundry as it goes into the hamper, rather than having to paw through a huge pile of dirty clothes on laundry day to separate your lights from your darks or your clothes from your towels. Next, we're going to show you how to separate your laundry. Historically, laundry was always separated by color. White and light color items went in one load, darks in another. This rule was driven by two primary factors: wash water temperature selection and dye transfer concerns. While dye transfer, which means a dark shirt or garment that you have in your laundry transfers the dye bleeds from that garment into a lighter color or a white garment that you have in your laundry. That's what dye transfer means. And while that is a concern still today, water temperature, truthfully, is no longer much a factor because most washing machines come with your settings. Separating the wash by color is still the go-to move, but a newer way to think about separating your wash is by fabric type. Modern fabrics that have the stretch built into them, the spandex and the lycra, they should not be washed with linty fabrics like terry cloth or heavy cottons or fleece. And while separating the wash, heavily soiled or dirty clothes should always be washed separately. And you will also want to set aside anything that needs to be laundered in a protective mesh bag. This can include items like robe sashes or shoelaces that need to be bagged up in order to prevent them from winding around everything else in the wash, or things like undergarments, brassieres that have hooks on them that can snag other items or become bent. And if you do opt to wash your dark and light clothes together, you can buy a product called dye transfer and put it in your wash, and it will catch all of the bleeding dye that will come out of your dark colors clothing, so that it won't go into your light colored clothing. Here's a photo of what mesh bags look like. And here is an example of a dye catcher. Okay, next you are going to pre-treat your stains. Stains on laundry should be pre-treated prior to washing. A good time to do this is when you are separating your wash. An even better time to do this is when the stain happens before putting it in the dirty laundry hamper. You should always keep a Tide to Go pen. Here's a photo of a Tide to Go pen. You should keep one in your car, in your office, in your purse, in your pocket, wherever you go, because it is such an incredible lifesaver. If you are out and you spill something on your clothes and you have that Tide pen and you run it over your clothing, it will remove the stain immediately. It will also provide the pre-treatment so that when you go home and immediately wash that garment, it doesn't set in your clothes and you can wear it again and not have to throw it away because it's been ruined by a stain that took place. Tide to Go pens are lifesavers. I highly recommend that you get one and keep one everywhere. It will save your garments. Unfortunately, for laundry doers, there's no single universal stain remover because each stain has its own chemical makeup. And so it requires a different type of stain remover. Most people will not need stain removers for every stain. You can generally buy an all-purpose stain remover like Shout here, you see. That's an all-purpose stain remover. The Less Toil that you see here is really for grease and heavy stains. So Shout will definitely cover most stains, and the Tide pen will be the lifesaver of, you know, all of your clothing. Next, we're going to talk about how to choose a detergent. There are 10,000 different types of laundry detergent on the market, and figuring out which one to use, not to mention exactly how to use it, can be challenging. There are 3 primary types of laundry detergent. There's powder form, liquid form, and detergent pods. They all work. So opting for one over the other, truthfully, is a matter of personal preference. They all do the same thing and they all clean equally the same. It's just a matter of preference for which one you'll want to use. Liquid laundry detergent is the versatile option. There are 3 advantages to using liquid laundry detergent. The first is that it dissolves better in water, regardless of the water temperature. The second is that it can serve as pre-treatment on your stains. And the third is that because it dissolves more easily in water, it's the better choice whenever you have to do any hand washing, hand laundering of your clothes. Depending upon the design of your washing machine, liquid detergents will either go into a compartment, which will release the soap at the right time in the cycle, or it goes directly into the drum of the machine. If you have a compartment style washer, one compartment should be designated for liquid products and another for the powdered products. Make sure that you don't swap those compartments. Put the liquid in the compartment that it's supposed to go into, or put the powder in the compartment that it's supposed to go into. Because if you mix them, you could then clog up and damage your washing machine. Powder detergents are the budget and eco-friendly options. They are designated as budget and eco-friendly because they don't contain water, and powder laundry detergent is more shelf stable. Powder laundry detergent is slower to lose its effectiveness, allowing you to buy it in bulk and create a savings for your budget. It is also the most environmentally friendly choice with regards to laundry detergent. And it's designed to work with and go with your washing machine, and it will work fine, providing you do it correctly and measure it out like it's supposed to. One note I will make about powder detergent is, unlike liquid detergent, if you're using powder detergent, I really would suggest that you measure it out and pour it into your washing machine as the water is filling up. And I'm making this suggestion because powder detergent takes a little bit longer to dissolve. And if it's not fully dissolved, it will get clumped up within your laundry. And so when you get to the end of your cycle and pull your clothes out, you open it up to find that the powder detergent has created a paste crease within your clothing, and you have to wash them all over again. So my suggestion is, if you're using powder detergent, measure it out, pour it within the washing machine as the water is filling up, and then let the washing machine start and agitate in its cycle so that it can completely dissolve those little powder granules or crystals and not get clumped up within your clothing. Your next step is to pick a water temperature and a cycle. Unless your clothing is really caked up with dirt and heavily soiled, washing in cold water will serve your needs and prevent most laundry disasters. The exception is cotton underwear and bed sheets. They need to be washed in hot water to sanitize and remove body oil. Bed linen and towels need to be washed at the highest recommended temperature for the same purpose. No matter what temperature you select, always rinse in cold water. Most laundry can now be washed in cold water. It's more sustainable, and using cold water will reduce wear and tear and fading in your clothes. You will also want to choose the best washer cycle for your fabrics. Normal cycle is fine for most everyday loads, regular clothing. Permanent pressed or delicates is the cycle you select when you are washing special fabrics like linen or silk, because they need to be handled gently. And then heavy duty, of course, is great for your work clothes, especially if you work outdoors and you sustain stains within your clothes through working, mechanic, grease, oil, or just when you're washing your blue jeans and your bath towels. Next, we're getting ready to do laundry, but we want to make one last check before we put everything into the washing machine. So spend a bit of time to do one last check, making sure that everything is A-okay and in order, and that you don't forget anything. Make sure you check the articles that you're going to wash for any stains, and if so, pre-treat them with the stain treatment. That makes sure that when your clothes come out, they're the cleanest they can be. It is also necessary for you to check the pockets and make sure that they are empty, having no coins or tissue that may be in the pockets, because when tissue hits the water, it breaks down and spreads throughout your laundry, and it clings to the clothes as well as gets stuck in the filters and compartments of your washing machine, and that could damage and break it. Plus, that also means you have to rewash your clothes because you got tissue all over them. So make sure you check all your pockets and remove everything that's inside. Make sure you remove any belts or accessories that are on your clothing. Make sure you turn your clothes inside out and wash them that way. Also, make sure you button up your shirts and blouses and fasten any Velcro that are, that may be located on your clothing. And make sure you zip up all of your clothing that have zippers. This way, you are not causing any other damage to any of your other garments, because as your clothes are in the laundry and they're being agitated, they could easily snag something that was delicate, or, you just don't want to damage your clothing. So to minimize that, make sure you take these precautions. Also, you should use fabric softener because that makes your clothes come out nice and fluffy and soft. Make sure you use odor fresh protector. Those are things like Unstoppables and Downy Unstoppables, because they remove any odors, hidden odors that are in your clothes, and they replace it with a wonderful fragrance scent. I'm telling you, I use Unstoppables, and when I go to hang my laundry, it just fills the entire area with a beautiful scent. And then if you use a clothes dryer, make sure you use dryer sheets, because dryer sheets remove static from your clothing. And again, it provides a nice fragrant smell throughout your clothing, and it fluffs them up. So it's time to put all your clothes in the laundry. If your machine does not have detergent compartments, you will have to manually put the correct amount of detergent into the drum of the machine before you load your clothes. And again, if you're using powder detergent, measure it out, and as the water is filling your machine, pour your powder detergent in and let it begin to cycle in the wash before you add your clothes, because I'm telling you, it is just the worst feeling after having done a load of laundry and you go to pull it out and you've got this white paste all over your clothes because your laundry powder did not dissolve completely. Make sure that when you're loading your clothes into the washer, do it piece by piece. Don't just dump it in your machine. Actually, as you're putting your clothes in, layer them. You need to avoid loading the washer almost to the brim so that it doesn't overflow and properly clean your clothes. The clothes have to have some room to move around in the washing machine, some room to let the detergent suds up around and get that dirt and that grime out. So you don't want to jam your clothes in there. You want to layer them in the circle around the drum. you know, to reduce the worn out appearance and to protect the finishes of your fabrics, turn your clothes inside out before washing them. In other words, have you ever washed clothes, you know, a sweater, you know, a t-shirt or, you know, a hoodie, and you pull it out and it's got those little fabric beads on them? You can help eliminate getting those fizzy beads on your clothing if you wash your clothes inside out. Next, you're going to put your wet clothes into the dryer. Maintain the same grouping of clothing when you're drying them. In other words, dry light colors with light colors and dark colors with dark colors. It's necessary to dry items with heavy fabric together. In other words, dry all of your bath towels together and dry all of your sheets and bedding together. You should choose the correct temperature to help protect your clothing from shrinking. Don't always throw it on high, 60 minutes, you know, throw it on a lower setting. Dry it on low for 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and let it come out kind of damp. There's two good reasons why you do that. One, you avoid shrinking your clothes. Two, it lets them continue to air dry, and then they'll be fluffy and be quickly restored to their natural shaping, like when you bought it. You can also hang dry or air dry your clothes on a clothesline. And hanging dry your clothes has many benefits. You will save on your gas and electricity bill, for number one, because you're not using the electricity and the gas to dry your clothes. And then hanging dry your clothes, again, it brings minimum damage to your clothes. I personally hang dry my clothes. And I've been hanging dry my clothes for years. I had a washer and dryer set, but because I like the way my clothes come out when I hang them on a line, rather than put them in the clothes dryer, I wound up selling it because I never used it. So that's just my preference. And it doesn't take all day. Oh my God. If I put my clothes on a clothesline, within 2 hours, they're dry. So I personally prefer to hang my clothes on a clothesline as opposed to using a dryer. But, you know, sometimes you need it dried sooner than 2 hours. And so you just throw it in your clothes dryer. Next, you're going to fold, hang, and arrange your clothes in your closets and drawers. Once your clothes are dry, you need to immediately, and when I say immediately, I mean immediately, take care of them, because if you don't, they will get wrinkles. And yes, you can iron them out, but I'm just saying that the ironing portion of your chores can be minimalized if you immediately snap, hang, fold them up, put them where they're supposed to be. Wrinkles are, you know, you want to work smart and not hard. So if immediately when your clothes dryer dings and stops for you, you pull them right out and you hang them up or fold them and put them away, you will have less wrinkles to deal with when you go to wear your garments. Ironing, of course, will always help your clothes stay clean, crisp, and they work really well, especially when they're super wrinkled. But again, if you hang them up right away, you could eliminate some of those wrinkles you'd have to iron out. Make sure that you rearrange your clothes back to where they were in their rightful spots, whether it's in your closets or in your drawers, and then you're done. So now that you know how to do laundry, keep doing these helpful tips to make sure that your chores are easier. Make the decision on what day you want to do laundry on and stick to that schedule. That way you don't wind up with a huge pile of clothes that you have to do. And now it becomes such an incredible dread, because you just sort of like, I don't want to do this, So stay on top of it. Well, friends, that's all my time for today. Thank you so much for joining me on Life Skills FYI. Feel free to contact me if you have any questions. My number is 586-842-0558. Again, my name is Toni Cureton, and I'll see you next time on Life Skills FYI. And always remember to adult responsibly.